Hi, my name is Beth Lange, sales director from Concordia, Missouri, Pink Cadillac sales director. So excited to get to be a part of our summer success series and talk to you today about the topic of cultivating confidence. If there is one thing that all of us need, not only in Mary Kay, but in our life, is confidence. It impacts everything. When we walk into a room and we are feeling confident, impacts not only ourselves, but everyone that's around us. So I want to give you a simple technique for one way of cultivating confidence. I think one of the greatest things that can steal our confidence is all of the stuff that's running around in our brain, all of the thoughts, all of the good, the bad, the things we can control, the things we can't control, all mixed up like a big pot of spaghetti. And it can be overwhelming and steal our confidence when we are so overwhelmed with all the stuff going on in our brain. So I am going to give you this recipe, and you are going to want to take this and think about it, process it longer than just the short time that I'm training. You may do this with your director at the end of this call. You may talk about it, but I encourage you to take some time to really think about this and turn it into a daily practice. And the topic and the tools, and I'm going to give you for cultivating confidence, one way of cultivating confidence is what I call two lists. Two lists. So you're going to want a piece of paper. You're going to want to draw a line down the middle, and you are going to want to, on one side, write the word content over the top. And on the other side, you're going to want to write the word discontent. And this exercise is going to start by turning your focus to the content side, your content column. And I want you to just dump everything onto the piece of paper that you feel content with, that you feel at peace with, that you feel good about. Maybe it's the fact that you just got your closet organized in your hallway and you've wanted to do it for a long time. You just feel really good about it. Maybe you feel really good about your business. Maybe you've got 10 things on your books and you're feeling really good. Maybe you have an excited new team member. Maybe you just wrapped up your star for the quarter. Maybe you have mastered a skill that you've been working on for a long time in your presentation, anything that you feel content about. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's your relationship with your kids. Maybe you just redecorated a room. Anything that you feel good about, feel good. Like, yeah, I feel content about that. That goes on one list. The other side, discontent. These are the things that bug you. Maybe that feel a little overwhelming. Maybe they're questions you don't have answered yet. Maybe you are preparing to send children off to college. Maybe you have little ones that are making some adjustments. Maybe you're an empty nester. Maybe you're single. Maybe you're married. Maybe you're all the things, but things in your world that are causing you to feel discontent. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's a boss you have that's really frustrating. Maybe it's your Mary Kay business. Maybe you're not feeling content in booking appointments or sharing the opportunity. Maybe you've had a discouragement. Anything that causes discontentment, I want you to put it on the discontent side. Once you have your two lists, I want you to shift back to the discontent side. And I want you to take that discontent list and I want you to honestly evaluate, I want you to take that list and I want you to put a star next to anything on your discontent list that you can control, For example, you may be discontent with the amount of bookings on your books. And what I want you to realize, I want you to look at these things and go, okay, is that a skill that I could learn? Do I have some control over that? Could I be calling more people? Anything on your discontent list that you can control. Maybe it's your health. Maybe you're feeling discontent with your current state of your health. I want you to put a star next to that if it's something you can control. Maybe you need to make a doctor's appointment. Maybe you need to be paying attention to how you're eating or exercising or whatever it is. So anything that you know deep down you have control over, put a star next to. And then everything that is simply out of your control. For example, the weather. Maybe you're watching this on a day when it is gorgeous and the weather is on your content side. Or maybe it's a day and it is hot and humid and you are not content. Maybe your air conditioner is broke and you cannot control the weather. So you're just going to put a line through anything you cannot control. So what you now have is a content list of everything in your life that you feel really good about, that you feel at peace with. You've got a discontent list of things that you can control, that you have the ability to change. And then you've got the list of things that you have marked out because you simply don't have any control over them. This exercise, this 2 lists, now that you have this in front of you, that you have gotten everything out of you and put it onto paper, is where the way you look at it is where the power comes from. So first thing, when you look at this list, you always want to start by looking at the things that you are grateful for. When I take some time to look at the things that I am content with, that's my gratitude list. When you start with gratitude, it changes your perspective of everything. So I can imagine all that stuff, it's been in your brain, it's been jumbled up there, and you just feel overwhelmed and your confidence is just gone because you've got all this stuff in your brain. When you get it out and you start on the gratitude side, you're going to start to feel a peace come over when you start to go, gosh, I really do have a lot to be thankful for. I have a lot of things that I am content with in my life. That is where you start in this idea of cultivating confidence. It starts with gratitude. Spending time with this on a daily basis. What I'm teaching you now is something you can do mentally. You don't have to dump it on paper. You can make some mental checklists. But when you can start with, on days when you're overwhelmed, when your confidence is shot, and you start to go, okay, what am I content with today? Start there. So that's the first shift you may need to make when looking at your list, is where you're starting. A lot of times when we look at our lists that are in front of us, we start with the things that I told you to mark off, the things outside of our control. And our brains want to fix it. Our brains want to have a solution. And there are, quite simply, ladies, things that are out of our control. The attitudes of other people are out of our control. The weather is out of our control. There are gigantic world events happening that are out of our control. When we can look at these lists and go, okay, first of all, start with gratitude. Second, know that I have gotten rid of all of those things that are out of my control. I have put them in the hands of a God who is very able to take care of them, to give you peace in them, to give wisdom in them, to trust him with it. Getting that off, then that frees your brain to look at then the things, what's left, the things you can control. This place of looking at, ooh, I'm not content, and I'm going to stop defending my limitations when it comes to these things that are making me discontent. For example, you may look at the things that make you discontent. And the example I used earlier was booking. I don't have any bookings. Nobody wants to book with me. That, when you stop and look yourself in the mirror and say, does no one want to book with me? Or have I simply not asked enough people? Does no one want to book with me? Or do I need to change my attitude when I'm talking to people that I'm booking? Does nobody want to book with me? Or have I simply not asked enough people? Your director will be able to give you the numbers needed to ask to get the results that you want. And so looking yourself in the mirror on the things on the side of your piece of paper that are causing discontentment. And when you look at yourself and go, I'm going to stop defending the limitations I have put around these things that are causing me discontentment. Maybe you want to get healthier, but you are blaming, complaining, defending. your inability to get healthy because you live with someone who doesn't have that same desire. Ladies, you have control over that. And when you can sit in a place of control over the things that you know you can, that brings confidence. When you look yourself in the mirror and say, I can learn a new booking skill. I can call more people. I can ask my director for scripts and tips and tricks on how to meet new people. That brings up confidence. So what have we said so far? Number one, start with the content side, the gratitude side. Get your place in a space, get your head in a space of gratitude. Then realize there are things that you are trying to figure out that you can't control. Get those off of your list. When I pause, when I feel myself getting crazy and my confidence is slipping, I am usually trying to control something that I simply can't. And when I release that and trust that God wants me to give that to him, what does he say? Cast all of your anxiety on him. He hears, he listens. Then that takes a whole huge weight off my plate to put energy into things that I'm discontent about, but that I can control. Another thing you need to know, and way you can use this piece of paper, these two lists, is to remember every person has two lists. Every person has things that they're grateful for, and every person has a list of things that they're discontent about, that are out of their control and that are in their control. One of the things that can steal our confidence, or another thing that can steal our confidence, is when we start to think that we're the only person that has two lists. We're the only person that has a list of hard things, a list of things out of our control, a health diagnosis, you name it. And we start to think the people that we're looking at that are successful, especially in Mary Kay, they simply probably don't have anything on their discontent list. They're confident in everything. They don't have any hard stuff going on. And that is simply not true. When you take that comparison off, and in your brain, remember, every person has two lists that they are grateful for and that they are also challenged by. When you remove that comparison, that can bring up your confidence. When we look at someone and we assume that they don't have any issues or don't have any problems, we put ourselves in a victim mentality. When we think, my life is harder, my life is worse, I'm a victim, I don't have any confidence. That is a victim mentality. Or you might look at someone and you might look at your list that is causing you discontentment and how well you're handling it, and you could get prideful. Comparison always leads to shame or pride. So taking that comparison out by remembering everybody has two lists. So when you think about cultivating confidence, there's lots of things you can do to grow your confidence. This simple exercise is intended to help you dump everything out of your brain to get it in front of you so you are dealing with the truth. We have a God who so desires for us to walk and live in confidence. That comes because we know that we are uniquely created, that he has a great plan for us, that he wants to strengthen us in the parts that cause discontentment and that are hard. And he wants us to recognize and give thanks for the ways that he has gifted us. When we take our eyes and look through the lens of that perspective on your two lists, when you can look at those two lists with that perspective through that lens, you are going to begin to experience your confidence growing. People are going to notice a difference. You're going to start to speak differently because your focus is on what you're grateful for and what you can control, and taking responsibility for it and trusting that you have a God that wants to work in every single area. The final thing that I want to tell you about these two lists is that they're never going to go away. You're never going to move everything off of the discontent list to the content list. So waiting until everything is perfect before you move into the calling that you've been given is not realistic. You may be at this point in your business sitting with a big dream. You want something big to happen this summer. You want to prepare yourself for something exciting for fall. And you are thinking, if I could just get everything off of my discontent list, or if when this happens, then I'll be able to move forward. Do you know that when you have that call in your heart and you are feeling like you want to move forward, that doing it with gratitude, while learning how to navigate the discontent side and trusting that God has you in all of it, may be exactly the place that He wants you to grow you and to move you to that next step. So, I hope that this exercise can help you begin to grow in your confidence, to cultivate confidence. You know, and we know that you attract the kinds of person that you are. When you cultivate your confidence and you grow in your confidence, you're going to start to watch different kinds of people want to be in your space. People want to be in the space of women that are going somewhere, that are growing in their confidence and are authentically ready to share that with others. Ladies, have a great summer. Thanks for listening. And I am praying that each of you leave this space ready to cultivate your confidence. Bye-bye.